All right, let's just settle into our meditation posture. If you are sitting at a desk, which probably some of you are, and your feet are down on the ground, just have them in a parallel position. So try not to be having your ankles crossing. I'm just unpin myself so I can see you all. Hi Victor, welcome. Good morning. And the knees in a parallel position. And if you want, you can have something supporting your feet. If you're sitting in the regular cross-legged position, I would have, if you're a little bit tight in your knees and your hips, you can put something underneath each knee and have your sits bones raised slightly, or maybe 2 to 4 inches is good. This also helps with the alignment of the spine. It helps if your hips and knees are tight. And the hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. Welcome Sophie and Michael. Just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And you can imagine someone is very gently lengthening your spine. So just put some space in between those vertebrae and imagine the crown of your head is reaching for the ceiling, for the sky. And have your shoulders over your hips. Your head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. If your eyes were open, you'd be looking at a spot about 2 inches ahead of you. It's a good idea to have the eyes slightly open just to let some light in if you're starting to feel a little bit sleepy. But for the level that we're at, it's probably better to have our eyes closed. Just be aware if you're starting to feel a bit dull. Then you can crack open your eyes just a tad, tiny amount. Let some light in. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth and relax the jaw. Lips are slightly apart. Now bring your mind to the crown of your head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eye socket, all those muscles there, the nose, the cheeks, that area around the mouth. Relax the jaw. Bring your attention to the back of the head and relax the scalp, particularly the area around the occipital bone. It's quite tight there for a lot of us. And then notice as you relax the back of the head, the base of the skull, how your jaw relaxes again, your ears, temples, back of the tongue. And bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're flowing in, as you're inhaling, exhaling, is slightly warmer. And relax the back of the neck, release any tension there. Shoulders, shoulder blades. Your back, if you can feel it. Throat, chest, belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And go back to the breath. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So there may be traffic, people in your home, your pets, neighbors. So try not to engage. And just notice what it is that's distracting you, what particular sound draws you. And bring the mind back to the breath and allow the sound to just dissolve into the background. Then notice your thoughts as they arise. Abide for a moment and then just kind of flow on. Excuse me, like this river of mental moments. And so try and put some space in between your thoughts. And try not to engage or criticize or make up a story or judge yourself. And let's just put ourselves on the bank of the river as we've been doing and watch the river flowing by, this river of mental moments. Like a interested observer, curious, detached. And while we're sitting on the bank of the river, we are free from the river. So bringing the mind back to the breath. And let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. So your loved ones. And these are the people whom you have healthy, constructive relationships with. The people you love. Family, friends, spouses, children. And people that support you, take care of you. And there's those people in your life who you have some difficulty with. And this difficulty could range from being very, just slightly irritated to someone who's really harmed you. So keep them in mind. And then there's those strangers, the people that we're passing in our cars when we're driving or in the bus. Those people that we pass on the street, in the pharmacy, in the grocery store, while we're in line. We might even have a conversation with one of them for, 30 seconds. That they pass through our lives fleetingly. But all these three groups of people, interestingly, can change place at any time. The friend, the enemy, the stranger. So keep that in mind, because we'll go into that a little bit more deeply in a moment. But right now, I just want to go back to our 9-round breathing. So as you're breathing in, breathe in blissful, radiant, white light. If you like, to a count of 3 or 4. So make sure your breath is steady. We don't want to be hyperventilating. The steady breath. Steady mind. So you can block the left nostril, breathing in through the right. Blissful, radiant white light, pausing at the top of the breath. And breathing out through the left nostril, all your unhealthy desire and attachment, grasping and neediness, wanting, not feeling enough. And you breathe that out as thick, black, yucky smoke. Do that 3 times. Breathe in through the left nostril, blissful, radiant white light, pausing at the top of the breath. Then breathe out through the right, all your anger, disappointments, grudges, bitterness, jealousy, wishing to harm, wishing for revenge. And breathe that out as thick, black, yucky smoke. Then breathe in through both nostrils, blissful, radiant white light. Pause, and then breathe out all your ignorance. And this is really ignorance of the way things truly exist. Ignorance of karma, cause and effect. And do that 3 times. So we'll do 3 sets of 3 in our own time. So when you're finished, just bring your mind back to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you're breathing in and breathing out. And just feel. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit more grounded. And if you're not, that's okay too. So bring back those people of your life. In the space in front of you now, your friend, one person that you have difficulty with, and someone you feel indifferent to. So maybe you just remember a face. And try and remember the images of the friend, the enemy, and the stranger throughout the meditation. And first, focus on your friend. Why do you like this person? Is it mainly because of what they do for you? Make you laugh? Keep you happy? And are those good reasons for liking someone and holding them dear? And then look at the person that you don't like very much, the person you have difficulty with. And think about your reasons for feeling that way. Perhaps they've harmed you. Or maybe they just behave in a way that you find irritating. And are those good reasons for disliking someone? Treating them badly or wishing them harm? And then look at the person that you are feeling indifferent to, the person that you maybe pass occasionally at the store. And are you feeling indifferent because they neither help or harm you? And do you regard these friendships as permanent? Do you believe you will always get along with your friend? You will never get along with your enemy. And you will always be distant from that stranger. And recall any relationships you've had in the past that have changed. Your friend becoming an enemy or a stranger, or vice versa. Now imagine the friend in front of you doing something hurtful or unacceptable. Would your feelings towards this person change? Recall that this person was not a friend before you became acquainted and could very easily cease to be your friend in the future. And realize there's no sound reason for feeling kind and loving toward only the friend of this moment. The relationships changed in the past and will continue to change. Today's friend could become tomorrow's enemy. Now turn your attention to your enemy. And imagine this person doing something kind or helpful. Maybe praising you. Imagine you're out on one of those long, dusty roads, and it's hot, and your car broke down, and your cell phone broke, or is out of service. But along comes the enemy, person you don't like, and helps you. Look carefully at your feelings for this person. Are they softening? You can learn to feel warm towards your enemy. This has happened before and will happen again. So why hold so strongly the conception that this person is enemy? And the stranger. This relationship can go either way. So imagine this person doing something helpful for you. Perhaps they found your purse, and then they found you. Or they gave you directions when you were lost. How would this affect your feelings towards that person? If you are able to accept this idea of past lives, future lifetimes, consider for a moment this idea that you've known these people before, perhaps in other times and maybe very different relationships. Consider that the friend of this lifetime may possibly have been your enemy in another lifetime. Your present enemy may have been someone very dear, a parent, a sibling, close friend. And the stranger may have been both enemy and friend. So how does that affect your feelings towards these people? Understand that relationships are not permanent. A loved one can become an enemy and vice versa, and a stranger can become either a friend or an enemy. And no one is a friend, an enemy, or a stranger from their own side, independently. Rather, they become this way depending on how our mind labels them. For someone you regard as a friend might be regarded as an enemy to someone else. And there are people who love the person you regard as an enemy. They have a brother, a sister, a mother. They have people who love them. So therefore it's unwise for us to cling to these three types of people as if they were permanent and independently existing. So another way that's helpful, which is we do this in the evening, to remember how people are equal, how they are exactly the same. And one of these ways is that everyone wants to be happy and does not want problems or pain. So contemplate this. Your friend, enemy, and stranger, they all want happiness as much as you do. And just like you, they don't want to experience even the tiniest problem. And everyone, yourself and others, deserve to be happy and peaceful and free from all suffering. So really try and feel that. And another way in which all beings are equal is that we have this unbelievable potential to free our minds from all negativities and to develop ourselves to the fullest, to achieve incredible clarity and compassion and kindness, wisdom, this enlightened mind. And everyone can and will become enlightened one day. So just recognize that the differences we see in people are superficial, based on our own view, which can be narrow and possibly mistaken. And if our thoughts and feelings were more in line with reality, we would see that everyone equally deserves our care and our compassion and our kindness. It doesn't mean we shouldn't discriminate and be careful. It doesn't mean we have to invite every single person home for dinner. We're going to naturally feel closer to some people just because of the karma we have with them. And we're going to keep distance from some people because maybe it's just the healthiest thing to do. This is not a contradiction. The point of this meditation is to develop equal concern, regard for everyone, whether they harm or help us. And to see that our discrimination is based on labels that change according to what's going on in our own mind. So it may not possibly be accurate. So just bring the mind back to the breath for a couple more minutes. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy and any insights you may have had to the well-being and happiness of all those people of your life, and by extension all sentient beings, and for yourself as you move along your spiritual path. Thank you very much, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you, Matt, for hosting, and I look forward to seeing some of you tonight. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank